You're listening to His Empire of Dirt by Pearlandpine. Chapter 31. Michael Afton has a normal day. You couldn't pay Clara enough to stay in the house after a day. Since they don't have campus housing, they can return to their apartments. I need some freedom, she says, before it all falls apart. Aside from this, they frankly do not want to stay in the cramped house for New Year's. You got all 10 fingers and toes? Miss Caputo frets, kissing Clara all over her head. You're still chaste, dear?
Mom, oh my God. Lord's name in vain, Clara. Ugh.
Clara pulls away from her mom and smiles.
We'll be fine. I'll call you later.
She turns to her grandma.
I'll call you, Nana,
she says, carefully enunciating each word.
Goodbye, Clara.
With a shaking hand, she takes William's hand and softly adds,
Be good, Bill, Fritz.
Clara looks like she could cry at the concrete sentences her grandmother says, and the boys nod, waving goodbye as they exit the house. By the time they get onto the road, driving precariously through the snow, Clara is holding back tears, gripping on to Will's hand, finally having a Merry Christmas. They arrive at school a couple of hours later, collapsing onto the couch like it has beckoned them their entire lives. Bella, too, will be joining them, at least for New Year's. And Henry isn't sure, because he's a couple of states away at his uncle's. Mike had written in his journal on the way back to the apartment, and now he reads its first ever testament. December 26th, 1958. I finally had a Merry Christmas. Took long enough. Do I write here? Like, I know I'm laughing, so do I need to add it? I don't know. I'm new at this. Cut me a break. Will got me this. I don't really know what to write about. I'm not so great at words. So, I feel happy right now. I feel really happy. Like on top of the world. Do I ever have to leave? I don't want to leave. I kind of don't want everything magically fixed, because then I can just stay here forever. Stay here with my friends. The people that love me. Finally safe. I don't ever want to go. Maybe I don't have to. Global warming, like the ball pit, will take centuries to kill us anyway. William receives a call from the doctor that day. He quietly relays the information to Clara and Mike as he flicks the card the doctor had given him. Well, definition-wise, I'm a maniac. He told me to eat well and keep a routine until I come to the rest of the trials. They don't have a word for what I have, but he thinks my psychoanalyst will recommend drugs with bloody lithium in it. I didn't even know there were things for this back home. Fucking mum and father. Well, I'm very proud of you for taking this step, Clara encouragingly says. It must have been scary for you. Oh, I'm not scared or anything, he replies, trying to keep the mellow light. Not anything in the world. I'm sure. Aside from me, of course. Oh, well, you're horrifying, love. William quips. A bloody monster. His breathing rapidly becomes shallow, however, and he grips onto Clara's hand. His eyes become vacant a bit, and Clara begins talking about nothing in order to anchor him. talking about her classes next semester, classes she's not sure she'll even be able to take because of her family, and William slowly nods, not entirely there. Mike hurriedly dims the lights and opens the window to allow a breeze in. "Could someone play..." William gulps. "Play music?" "I got it." Mike goes to the record player and puts on Ella Fitzgerald, because he knows his dad loves Ella Fitzgerald, and Clara rubs circles on William's back. "Dance with me, dear," William requests, and Clara nods, leading him in a slow waltz. Mike doesn't want to leave them alone, but he is not sure if he should stay, so he shrinks under the couch and doodles Ballora and Spring Bonnie dancing, like they will in decades and decades, dead and alone. But now they're alive, their hearts beating too quickly, music softly playing in the background. William begins laughing in the kitchen, blinking to himself, his shoulders shaking. I've got to build," he suddenly declares. I'm off to the shop." "I'll go with you," Mike says, and William bobs his head. "Oh, I am positively on top of the world right now," William remarks, and he walks over to Clara and kisses her deeply, and then kissing her neck as if they're alone. "William, let go," she urges, and he kisses her a bit longer before relenting, chuckling as they exit the apartment. When they arrive in the shop, he immediately gets to work, singing to himself. "I won't let him try on the suit," Mike says to Clara, as William begins tinkering with the exoskeleton. It's complete, but the kinks need to be worked out, and the fur-like material needs to be added to make Spring Bonnie, well, Bonnie. Dad had worn Bonnie when he killed those kids, and Mike knows that he laughed the entire time. "Well," Mike says, cautiously approaching his friend, who is busy applying rubber gloves to his hands. "Can I know what's going on in your head?"
"Huh? Yeah, smashing, Fritz. Otherworldly brilliant, I'd say."
"Thinking about anything?"
"Oh, I ought to censor thoughts about my lovers to you, Fritz,"
he says with a chuckle, and Mike reddens.
"Well, you know, other than that, depravity."
"Okay. It's okay."
"I know. It's brilliant.
William then sharply inhales. He lurches a bit. "I do not recall how I got here. I don't..." "It's all right. It's all right." Mike coaxes an easy smile to his face. "We brought you here. Me and Clara are here."
I received a call. A call, yeah, from the doctor. That I am manic."
"I know. Well, I know. You told us."
I do not recall."
He startles a bit at the sight of the endoskeleton.
I apologize if...
"No need. It's okay."
Did I
He gulps.
frighten you?"
Mike shakes his head. And it's true. He's not scared of William Afton. William hesitantly smiles.
I see. Good. Good. I do not want anyone to be scared of me. I still...
He grunts.
I still do not feel entirely normal at the moment.
That's all right. I'm here. I'm not leaving you. At that, William fully smiles, and he walks over to Clara.
Thank you, dear.
He kisses her on the top of the head.
Thank you both for not leaving me.
You'll never get rid of me, Afton. She slaps him on the chest lightly before turning to the door. I'll pull the car around. I'm starved. She offers the boys a salute before exiting. William's smile is entirely sheepish when he turns to Mike and says,
Oh, I'm gonna marry that woman, Fritz.
Mike wants to answer, I know, but he can't. So he just smiles and nods. Then, seriously, he replies, Don't you hurt her, well, don't you break her heart again. William nods.
Of course. Oh, she'd just about kill me if I did, eh?
He laughs, but when his eyes dim from their color a bit, he frowns, and he reaches for Mike to steady himself. And Mike is there. Mike is always there. Clara has left for a bit to pick up Bella from the apartment. William is humming, writing in his journal on the floor, and he picks his head up from his book and says,
Fritz? Friend?
When Mike looks at him, he realizes that the dark circles under his eyes are less pronounced, as if he's actually getting sleep, like the monster in his closet has finally left him. Mike gestures for him to continue.
Thank you for being in my life.
Then he returns to his journal, as if he hadn't spoken at all. Mike gets choked up. Thanks for being in mine, he stammers, and William hums a bit louder to acknowledge that he's heard him, and then they sit in silence once more. Oh, Christ, get me high, Will, Bella requests as she stumbles into the apartment. Christmas was exhausting.
I cannot get high now, dear, but I will be delighted to share my riches with the commoners.
Bella shrugs, her eyes lighting up when he hands her a joint.
The beginning of my empire will perhaps be born from plantations.
Sounds like a damn colonizer, Clara says.
Says the American,
He counters, and she laughs. Says the goddamn Brit! He laughs at her remark, and begins listing things he can see and smell and hear and taste and touch to himself, tethering himself to the current time and to reality. What kind of empire do you want, Will? Clara reclines near him, ready to help heal his brain. He peers into the future.
I think, he says, wrapping an arm around her, one that I could give to you all. One for my kids. One where everyone is just happy.
He looks at Mike.
As long as we're all decent, I'll take any empire in the world.
Just make sure it's got weed.
Bella says.
And dancing.
Clara adds.
Fritz, any requests?
Mike smiles. Just save me a space.
Already done.
They have leftover pasta from Clara's house for dinner, and Bella has 3 more bowls than the rest of them.
I think when we graduate,
She says, slurping on her spaghetti.
we should all get a big house together.
You're just gonna be a parasite, smoking and mooching off me.
Yes, sir.
She drawls with a laugh.
Pity for the dead girl.
You'll run out of pity soon, Barnett. I'll employ you at the diner.
Oh, tell me about the diner, Will. I love when you talk about the diner.
Clara yawns, tossing her bowl onto the table.
Well,
William elaborates, stretching onto the couch.
there'll be 2 animatronics, in which Henry and I will control and entertain, and someday there'll be more. And after that, we'll never stop.
What'll you serve?
Beans on toast. just to drive you and your Italian ancestors mad.
Blech.
What you deserve. Joining side at Nazis for a bit, didn't you? William!
Clara hits William's chest, and he chuckles.
I am a true blue American.
My hero. Do you think one day there won't be any war anymore?
Bella inquires, high off her mind. No, Mike thinks. Not ever. We don't ever stop.
No, William earnestly answers, but he shrugs.
But we're safe.
He looks at Mike.
We're finally safe.
I got off the phone with Henry,
Bella says, walking back into the apartment.
He misses all of us, and he's bringing back presents. Oh, and, Will, the landlord downstairs says the phone rang for you. Something important.
It's probably Doctor,
Will remarks, grunting as he stands.
Please, do not weep. I will return soon.
I'll try to manage, Mike says, and William flips him off as he tosses on his shoes and exits the apartment, a cigarette already in his hands. Mike turns to the girls.
I think he's come a long way. I think so too,
Clara says, dreamily smiling.
That was the first time that Nana said a coherent sentence in a long, long time. I think he reminds her of Luca. That was her husband, Luca and Luna.
Was your grandfather a serial killer too?
I'm glad,
Mike says.
She looked happy. Yeah. Yeah, she did. Hey, Fritz?
Yeah?
I think you're probably the best thing that's ever happened to him. More than any of us. I think you're the first person to really give him a chance in the world. You're gonna get some really great karma, I think, from it. I don't really believe in that kind of stuff, but who knows? You lot make me believe in bigger things.
Mike's heart feels full.
You know, I had this horrible gut feeling that something bad was gonna happen. Like, something catastrophic. But I don't feel like that anymore. You guys make me feel happy. It's been a long, long time since I've been happy. Since I've been safe. First time I've ever lived,
Bella remarks.
I think we all owe a lot to each other. If we all act older than we are, we might as well be happier than we were when we were younger, too.
I think that... Mike begins, and he's about to say that you are all the best thing that has ever happened to me. But then the door creaks open. William's there, humming, his face not quite stone, not quite maniacal, but something entirely neutral, as if he's deciding what emotion to wear for the day. He kicks off his shoes and automatically makes his way to the kitchen, and he grabs a knife, methodically chopping a pepper from the fridge. He hums louder now, as if to drown out the sounds of chop, chop, chop.
Well?
You always hurt the one you love,
He sings.
the one you shouldn't hurt at all.
Well, Clara says, sterner, louder.
Was it the doctor?
Oh, yes, the doctor. No, it wasn't the doctor. Not the doctor at all.
He cracks a smile, and then he scowls, and then he returns to stone once more.
No, No, it was a call from overseas, actually. From London.
Your parents? Mike asks, his throat dry.
Well, about them, more like it.
William chuckles a bit, and then he frowns. He can't decide what to feel. Not at all.
There was a fire on Air Street.
Clara bolts to her feet and rushes over to William. He keeps cutting. Chop, chop, chop. Probably only anchored to reality because there's a knife in his hand. Well, love, what happened?
Well, I'm rich now, dear. Rich beyond our wildest dreams. You always take the sweetest rose and crush it till the petals fall.
Bella's sober now, and Mike stands. He places his hands on the counter and stares at William. He takes Will's wrist and forces him to stop. Chop, chop, chopping. Well, William's grey eyes finally flutter upwards. And yes, now he is smiling. Smiling like he had been in 1985. Smiling like when he first puts on Spring Bonnie. Smiling when he spills blood and finally liberates himself. He lets go of the knife and leans forward a bit.
I'm free, friend. William, 93 Air Street is ash now.
William Afton smiles.
My parents are dead.
Mike can't breathe. Mike can't breathe. Mike can't breathe.
You always take the sweetest rose and crush it till the petals fall. You always hurt the ones you love.